receive so many questions about killer whales each and every day from kids and grown-ups of all ages. So we've gathered those questions right here in the Killer Whales Up Close book to share with you today. And we connected the book so that you'll be able to see everything up on our big screens. Now, if you're ready to get started, it's my privilege to introduce you to Vicky.
Thanks, Jen! Happy birthday! Well, how's everybody doing today? Are you ready to make some killer whales? Alright, that's what we like to hear. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Orkid. She's one of our most intelligent killer whales, and she has a very special skill, and that's adding multiple behaviors together. So what we're going to do right now with Orkid is we're going to ask her to pair 3 different behaviors all at one time, perform them all together. Let's see if she can get it. She's going to do a vocal. Do you hear it? It's kind of quiet. She's going to wiggle her flippers. And she's going to jump all at the same time. So you can see Chrissy, her trainer, gave her all 3 signals: a vocal signal, a wiggle your pec signal, and a jump in the air signal. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Orkid! And one more time in case you didn't see it before. Now coming up next, out of the bag, he's one of our juvenile males. He will be jumping right here in the center of the pool. He's 6,000 pounds. Put your hands together for Nakai. And last but certainly not least, she'll be speeding along the glass, a female who's 22 years old, Shouka. SeaWorld San Diego is home to 11 killer whales, and they range in age from just 6 months old all the way up to 51 years old. Now coming out to say hello one more time, put your hands together for Orkid, Nakai, and Shouka. Now of our 11 killer whales, we have 5 females and 6 males. Back to you, birthday girl.
All right, so you can see how different each whale is, right? But did you know that there are even bigger differences in the wild? And would you be surprised if I told you there are actually different kinds of killer whales? Yeah, scientists refer to them as ecotypes. They live in different habitats, they have different body types, and they even pursue different types of food. And while ecotypes are different, they're also considered members of one single species, Orcinus orca. One of the questions that we get asked all the time is, how big does a killer whale grow to be? Well, that would depend on which ecotype you're talking about. Is it maybe a 16-foot female from Iceland or a 30-foot male from Antarctica? Let's take a closer look.
The remarkable thing about killer whales, no matter which type, is that they are found throughout our global ocean, from the Arctic to the Antarctic, and literally everywhere in between. They are found in so many different habitats and depend on such a variety of marine life for survival that killer whales are more intertwined with the fate of our ocean than any other marine animal. Truly, these awesome animals are the living symbol of our ocean, representing so much more than their own species.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for our killer whales! Orkid, Nakai, and Shouka. All right, let's check out your great questions. Okay, oh, here we go. So many people wonder about our trainers. In fact, raise your hand out there if any of you have ever wanted to be a killer whale trainer or an animal trainer. Wow, all right, that's a lot. Well, then I think you should meet our dedicated trainers that interact with our family of whales every day. So let's look up on stage. You'll see our trainers. There's Carly, Vicky, Shannon, Ikaika, Keet, and Corky. All right, And Christy! Our trainers are so passionate about what they do here every day. In fact, that makes me think of another one of your great questions. Oh, here we go. Do the trainers talk to the whales? Well, Vicki, I'll let you answer that one.
That is a great question. We may not talk to our whales the way you and I talk to each other, but we have taught the killer whales different hand signals to help us communicate with them. Our ongoing communication is an important part of building the strong relationships that we have with these whales. Because of this connection, one of the things that we're able to do is answer important questions through research.
Here at SeaWorld, we have a unique opportunity to conduct research about killer whales, asking important questions that can only be answered in a setting like this. So much of what we learn here is being used to help killer whales in the wild. Of course, there are other questions that can only be explored by studying whales in the ocean. By exploring questions both at SeaWorld and in the wild, our combined research gives all of us a better understanding of killer whales and the places they live.
And that's what I call working together. Research flowing in both directions, from our park to the wild and back again. That way, everyone benefits. All right, let's do another question. Oh, perfect. This individual wonders why whales jump. Well, I just happened to have that emoji. Look. You know, killer whales communicate in a lot of different ways. Sometimes they vocalize, and sometimes they use their bodies. And a jump like that, it's called a breach, and they're making a sound on top of the water. When a whale uses their bodies to slap the water, it creates a commotion both above and below the surface. Now, this could be to show their excitement, or maybe to display a little power, or just get the attention of the other whales. Oh yeah, some of you may have heard about Korea's new cat, Maya. Here at SeaWorld, our social media fans actually helped us name her. And we've been able to watch newborn killer whales rely on their mothers for everything from the very first moment of birth.
As a calf grows and gains some independence, it is looked after by other whales in the pod too. They help the mother protect the calf, teach it survival skills, and show the calf how to romp and play. Killer whales live in family-like groups known as pods. Like human families, their pods can range in size, from just a handful of whales up to a few dozen.
All right, here's another really important question. Does having a killer whale breeding program here at SeaWorld help whales in the wild? Absolutely. Our successful breeding program helps us understand the developmental needs of pregnant mothers, newborn calves, and young killer whales. And that's critical information because that is the time when killer whales are most vulnerable in the wild. Gaining this kind of knowledge is only possible through the research that we're able to do right here at SeaWorld.
Recently, SeaWorld worked with researchers from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, to help them develop a model for identifying when a killer whale is pregnant by looking at aerial images of the animal in the wild. Prior to this cooperative effort, where SeaWorld provided direct, unparalleled access to our pregnant whales, researchers had no solid way of knowing whether or not a female in the wild was carrying a calf.
Oh wow, well, that's a lot of questions, but believe it or not, we get them every day.
We sure do. Killer whales use all sorts of sounds to communicate with each other. Let's listen. That's everyone's favorite. Now, every type of killer whale, each pod has their own unique set of calls, their own dialect. But don't forget, they use body language too.
Yeah, sometimes they blow bubbles or bump into each other or even scratch each other with their teeth, causing something called rake marks. Well, those are the multi-line marks that you might see on the skin of killer whales and dolphins, and that's just one of the ways that they display dominance over each other during social interaction, both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. So we've just learned that killer whales communicate with each other by vocalizing and using body language, right? But who remembers how we communicate with them? Anyone? That's right, with signals. And here at SeaWorld, we communicate with our whales, and we want future generations to be able to do the same.
Now today we are joined by two very lucky volunteers. Over here we have Sierra, and over on this side we're joined by Keaton. They're going to get the opportunity to interact with Corky and Keet this afternoon. The first thing we're going to ask these two kids to do is give a signal with both hands. They're going to wave nice and big. All of you can feel free to wave back to our whales. They can see you. Here they come. All right, and our next signal is a really fun one. Everybody's going to get a kick out of this. Both hands straight up over their head and a little bit of water coming your way. Watch out, Sierra. And last but not least, our whales are going to put their heads down, bring their tails up, and wave goodbye to our two volunteers. Shamu style. There they are. And as a memento of meeting Keet and Corky today, we have a whale tail for Sierra and Keaton. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for our kids and our whales?
Wow, Vicki, it looks like we might have some future animal trainers on our hands, huh? They did a great job, don't you think? Awesome. All right, let's see. Oh, here's another question. Who takes care of you, Shamu? Well, I love that question because it allows us the opportunity to show all of you how much we really care about these extraordinary animals. So, Vicki, are the trainers ready?
I think so. All right, so what you're going to see over here is Carly will be asking Corky to roll over and present her tail flukes. This is a really important behavior. It's a husbandry behavior, and it allows us to take care of the whales. When the whales learn to offer their tail like this, we can draw blood to check their health. The slideout behavior allows us to weigh the whales. We weigh them on a weekly basis to make sure that they're staying healthy and that the calves are growing properly. The high energy behaviors are behaviors that whales do both in the wild and here at SeaWorld. He's going to demonstrate, or Ike's going to demonstrate one of these high energy behaviors right out in the center of the pool. Here he comes. Now these types of behaviors help us to ensure that the whales get the exercise they need every day.
Right, and I know that our guests also always wonder how much does a killer whale need to eat every day to stay healthy?
Well sure, just like us, each whale's dietary needs differ. So little Amaya, who's 6 months old, she's still getting all of her food from nursing from her mother. All the way up to Corky, who's 51 years old and can eat up to 200 pounds of fish a day. Now right now, all of our whales are eating different amounts based on their dietary needs, but it's important to know that all of our whales get all of their fish every day, regardless of what they do.
And because we've been able to determine how much killer whales eat throughout different stages in their life, researchers in the field are able to determine if ocean habitats are healthy enough for populations of killer whales to thrive. And well, that type of information is invaluable.
That's right. Our whales need more than food, exercise, and checkups from our veterinarians to stay healthy. Each of the whales' well-being is so important to us. We want to make sure that their minds are challenged too. They need the type of mental enrichment and stimulation that comes through learning, interaction, and play. So if you look up at our screens right now, you'll see some videos of our whales playing with different types of enrichment. We have all different types of fun toys and games that we play with the whales every single day. You can see them dragging some toys around up there on the screen. We also do different play sessions with them throughout the day. And if you look over here at Carly, you'll see her tossing ice chunks to Corky. Corky loves big, huge ice blocks. And so that's a great way to spend time with her, build a relationship with her, and have fun with her. If you look out here, Michelle is giving Keet a different type of reinforcement. Killer whales are very tactile. They actually shed several layers of their skin every day, and they really like that sensation of getting it rubbed off. And that's what's happening right over here. Again, this is a great way to build your relationship with the animals through tactile stimulation like this. Now, with all of the different games and toys that we offer, the best interaction still, or enrichment, still seems to be social interaction with each other and with our team of experienced trainers.
Okay, here's a question for all you kids out there. I know you probably all want to know, who would win if a killer whale squared off with a great white shark, right? So raise your hands if any of you out there think that the great white shark would win. Okay, I see a couple hands. Now raise your hands if you guys think that the killer whale would win. That's right, killer whales. You see, great white sharks hunt alone, but a killer whale hunts with a pack. So it's not even a competition. Did you know that killer whales can even hunt blue whales? You don't know how big a blue whale is? What, over 80 feet? It's the largest animal ever to have existed on our planet. But killer whales can hunt these huge animals because they coordinate, collaborate, and cooperate. They work together as a group to overcome challenges much bigger than themselves. And you know, I think we could learn a lot from killer whales on how to overcome challenges that our ocean faces. Maybe if we work together like the killer whales, we can change the fate of the ocean and maybe even the world. Okay, well, it looks like we have more questions, and here are some of those really common ones that always come in. So, here we go. First question. Why do some dorsal fins curve? Well, that's a great question. Dorsal fins lack any sort of skeletal support, such as bones or cartilage, to support their height and weight. They're completely made up of something called connective tissue. So, if an animal spends more time at the surface, over time, the tissue inside that fin can weaken and the fin will bend. Occasionally, we see these curved dorsal fins out in the wild and here at SeaWorld. Next question. How fast can they swim? Well, killer whales have been known to reach speeds of up to almost 30 miles an hour. Let's check it out. All right. That's awesome. Next question. Ooh, how much water can their tails splash? Well, their tails, or flukes as they're called, are really strong, enough to fling a whole lot of water about halfway up these stands. Last question. If all of the whales splashed out once, could they get the whole audience wet? Maybe not the whole audience. You know, killer whales are so inspiring. In fact, the more we learn about them, the more that we see they represent more than just themselves. Truly, to better understand our killer whales is to better understand the ocean. So never stop wondering about the natural world around you. Be sure to visit SeaWorldSanDiego.com for your free download of the Killer Whales Up Close book and share it with all your family and friends.
From all of us